Hey guys, Millex here. Hi. I have had a really hard time trying to figure out how to do my setup, and once I finally got like the lighting correct, I would look at the camera of the comic books and then realize you can't see the comic books or it'd be too bright or too dark. And then when that was set up, I'd be like, awesome. And then I'd go to look at me, and I'd realize that you can't see me because the camera pointed at the comic book is in the way or the lamp is in the way. So this was the best way I could get it set up. I'm sorry if I'm a little too close, but this is just how we're gonna have to do it because I've spent like an hour trying to figure out the best setup, and this is it. I decided to make things more complicated for myself by adding 5 criteria to put every comic book through and then rate it 1 to 5 on that scale to see what each comic would be rated. So the 5 criteria would be the cover. How does the cover look? How is the logos, ads, and text placed on the page? Do the characters look cool? Does it accurately convey what is inside the comic book? For this one, because we've already gone over this comic in the previous video, watch that, link in description or on screen up here over my face probably. So I gave this one a 2 out of 5 for the cover. I felt like not much was going on here. They're just kind of standing there, and the text down here isn't really interesting. So 2 out of 5 on there. The story I felt was, I gave myself a little bit of leeway here because it was my first comic, so I gave myself a 3 out of 5 for the story. I think it was straight to the point, like within the first page first page they already have superpowers, second page villain is fighting them, third page defeated, and then end of comic, right? Pretty straightforward story there, so gave that 3 out of 5. The third criteria is going to be the panels. Do the panels look well? Are they organized in a way that makes sense? Is there any fun or creative panel placement? So, for example, maybe like this, like where I added 3 panels, or like this, where it's like a big panel here. Is it kind of different? So I gave this a 2 out of 5 because it was hard to read. I remember because I was like, wait, what happened? I had to keep flipping between pages and whatnot. So I give that a 2 out of 5 for panels. 3 was the dialogue. What do the characters say? And does it have substance? So is there interesting conversations? Does it evoke any emotions in me? So like, what is it? Is it good, like talking? Is the talking good? So for this one, I gave it 3 out of 5. I felt like because I was like 11, I didn't have the best conversation skills myself. Can you guys even see this? There's this lamp like killing it. Kind of like how Cywolf's trying to kill the terrific trio, am I right? I gave that 3 out of 5. I thought like it was okay. Like you kind of understand what's happening. You understand like kind of what the characters are feeling in the moment. And then I have a nostalgia rating. So how do I feel when I look at the comic? Do I have fond memories of making it? How much do I even remember about it? And did it have an impact on me as a child? So some of these comic books have kind of deeper meaning to them, or it helped me kind of go deeper into something that I liked at the time. So I give this one a 5 out of 5 for nostalgia, for obvious reasons. It's the first comic book in the line. Of course I'm going to remember it. Of course I'm going to have fond memories about it. So that gives it a 15 out of 25 possible points. And then at the end, I will go ahead and like look at everything. So today I'm going to try to go over 2 comic books, maybe 3. It depends on how quickly we can get through this. So Second Terrific Trio comic. This is issue 2, volume 1. This will be Finn. I put on the spine here because, a little pun there. He says, we will defeat you. And then he's like, give up. And then she's like, no. And he's getting shot, I guess. He has X's in his eyes like a South Park character. So I guess that means he's dead. Rip Rocky. And then there's a little, like, some kind of French sea creature shrimp thing, I guess. He's like, a new issue. Coral King's first appearance. AIM comic. I give this comic cover like a 3 out of 5, I think. Just because there's dynamicness happening here. Like, they're in the middle of fighting. He's kind of like, we will defeat you, and he's like, it shows at least the last one didn't even show Cywolf, so this one at least shows the villain. But, you know, it's really lacking in the little pop-ups around. And then obviously the rest of the things, the story, the panels, dialogue, nostalgia, is all going to be things that I will rate after I read it. So, first page, ad for Publix, eat your veggies. Sorry, eat your veggies. Hey, Millex from the future here. Just wanted to point out that this apple has worms coming out of its eyes, which is really messed up. Thank you. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. We've got a singing carrots. He says sing, and then there's some music notes. Sing in a choir. And then this piece of what I assume is broccoli says a big clearance on all veggies, I assume. Nice Publix ad, not a sponsor. If you want to sponsor me, I will gladly make you a real advertisement. Sorry if this is blurry, I really tried. I tried for so long to get this camera correct. But, a day at the TAK Corp, and a truck being sent for delivery. And then this little guy's like, send it! And, oh, it's just a thing of acid going into this 3-wheeled truck. There it is. It drove down the road, and the acid's leaking out. This is the tailpipe of the car, and the acid's leaking out. But the truck driver left the tube down, so the acid poured onto the road. And he said, I must have went the wrong way. And he's like, going on a U-turn. Then the truck crashed. He crashed into the ocean, I guess? It says stop, but there's also fish. So it kind of looks like he's underwater. Maybe not. The acid mixed with the water. And there's little popcorn, I guess? It says, run, we shall form with you. And then the fish and coral. Look, there's Patrick. And Squidward. And SpongeBob. And I think that's supposed to be Sandy. Sorry, you can't see it. There. So it's I guess the acid is mixing with the coral and all of his other sea critters. The acid mixed with, that's what I just said. The acid mixed with the coral, creating a monster. That certainly looks like some kind of weird monster. It attracted other fish and creatures, which made this. I am King Coral. He's got some crazy eyebrows. He was King Coral. He ruled the sea. There he is. He's attacking the truck driver from earlier. You can see he's a truck driver because he has a T on his shirt, which stands for TAK. The monster swore that sea creatures would rule land as he sucked the life out of people. Oh my gosh. He's giving him a good suck. Haha, you puny humans. And you can see he's got a bunch of like weird tentacle things, and I guess that's sucking the life out of him. So this is an ad for something to a baby. This is this. This is just scribbles. And then this is a picture of a lady, I guess. And then this says, this is Peter Griffin. What do I think about it? I'm definitely thinking about it because I don't know what I'm reading. That's interesting. In the Aimster building, an urgent call. I think he's watching TV here. He's watching like a guy with a sombrero with a gun. Oh, no. This is like a video call. Like he's got a camera out front to his front door. It says, come in. Yes. I don't know what that means. And then he's standing there, and then he gets zapped, I guess, by King Coral. Let's go. It says, or the Coral King? King Coral or Coral King? Coral King. Or does he call himself King Coral? He calls himself King Coral here, but the front says Coral King. So, think about it. Whoa, this is fishy, says Rocky. He's got like a what I assume is a car. And Rocky hits him with a rock, and he says, ouch, what the? And then she copies herself a bunch, because that's her power. And she says, get him! And they all have like fishing lines or something. And then he kills one of her copies. And he says, silly heroes, under sea creatures will rule. Alright, not sure. I mean, I'm not sure what his plan is, but like, he's got gumption. He knows what he wants. And then he's climbing up this wall here. Haha! And then this attack helicopter says, stop! And he just keeps climbing. He doesn't stop. He doesn't listen. He says, I declare this for me! And he puts a flag, because apparently he had time to go make flags. The Empire State Building. So he got to, so apparently the Aimster Building is in Erie, as we learned at the first comic. But all of a sudden he's at the Empire State Building, and you can tell because it says Empire State Building at the top, and he says it's the Empire State Building. So how did he get from Erie to New York? That's like an 8-hour drive. Not sure. And then, so, very big plot hole there. Rocky says, hey, you, and he says, grr, and then it says, bonk. If you can read that, it says, bonk. He says, that hurts. And he says, let's do this again. I knocked off your arms. And then he says, get down. He says, gotcha. Ah. And then, ha 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 ha, and people are being thrown around. And then I guess he's pushed. He says, ah, and then she says sorry, and he goes, ah, and then he hits the ground and says, ah, oh poo, and then a lamp starts to fall on him, I guess. And then Mr. Morph says, don't mess with me. And then he says, I will. And then he picks up the lamp. Take this, you thing. He's got like a chainsaw hand. He loves that chainsaw hand. That's like his go-to. And he says, haha, you're so stupid. Which is really mean. And he says, there's only one thing. What? I am lava. So I guess Mr. Morph turns into lava. And he says, no, I must escape. I must escape. Because there's E-C. Okay. And then they yell, come back. And he says, I'm draining up. I must get into the water. And now they're in the water. And then he says, say hello to my little friend. And then he says, Mommy. And then this big monster says, you will die. It looks like the thing from Super Mario 64. Put that up on screen. And then he says, bye. And he runs away. And then Rocky says, oh, what big teeth you have. 2 minutes later, he's a mile long. 30 seconds. And then it's over. That's his butt. So he's out, and then Rocky says, help, and then he's swallowed, and then he's in the stomach, and he says, ouch, ouch, and then he's in the stomach here, and there's a skull, and he says, I done fo. And then, I guess he's in the stomach, and there's like a person in here, like a ship, and Rocky's like, who are you? And he said, hey, you are rocks. This old man with a big beard. And then he says, I'm Jonah. And then he says, "It's working, Jonna." And then he says, "Duh, I'm 30,000 years old." And then the guy's like, "What? How is this?" And he says, "Possible." Nice. And then he says, "No, that will make me barf." And then you humans are too powerful. And then she says, "Eh." And then he says, "Yes," because he gets thrown up. He's out of the monster. And then Miss Moore says, "Yeah." And Rocky says, "Woo, let's get that other fish." And then he says, this fish says, "You're right, this is fun." And then Rocky says, "No, I got a plan." He says, "I got a plan." And she says, "Run." And he says, "No." Who wrote this? The people who wrote Endgame? Like... And then she says, "Come get me." And then he says, "That's not nice." It's not nice. And then he's running away from the tentacles here. He's up on land. There's a little turtle. And then he tricks him to grabbing his tentacles under this lamp. I guess I liked to draw lamps at this point. And then he made him grab onto this plane that had somebody on it, I presume. And then Rocky says, "Good job." And he says, "Yeah." And he tries to get the turtle, but he can't get the turtle because the turtle has a shell. So one life sucker got electrocuted, one got stuck in a plane propeller, and no, they have to finish off Coral King. See, they called him Coral King this time. "Hey, don't get... I hate you all." And he said, that hurt for some reason. And then, oh, Mr. Morph was the fish. He was the fish the whole time. That's why that one fish was talking. I didn't understand. And he said, "Ugh, that hurt. You win." And it says, "Time to morph." And Coral King says, "You win again." "No, not there." Going to TAK. "Oh, no. I know, just the thing," says this man here. "It's a big tube of air. So sooner or later he will cool, dry." Oh, okay, so he's put into it like a dry thing. It says, "A day at the TAC Corp and something villainous. We will destroy those humans. Think you?" So Saiwa frees him with his laser. To be continued. He breaks out immediately, like the next panel. They're like, "Here, he's in the thing." Next panel, he's out. Alright, and we got this ad for Extreme GameStop X minus. Opening December 1st, 2008. Wow. Awesome. I wonder what an Extreme GameStop would be like. This will be Finn, Attack of King Coral. Okay, so the front says Coral King, the back says King Coral. Who knows? Alright, so let's get to rating this thing. This story? I feel like this was a really long one, so I might only be covering this one. The story was pretty good, actually. I felt like there was there was like 2 pages of build-up until he was like, "I am King Coral." And he started wreaking some havoc, so that's a pretty long build-up for me. He's doing a whole bunch of stuff here, and then we got all this whole fight on the Empire State Building, and then there's a big monster, he gets swallowed there, and then they do the final battle, and then he's escaped. Like, this is a long story. I gotta give this 4. I'll give it a 4, because this was pretty good. The only thing keeping it from a 5 was kind of like, I feel like it went on a little too long with not Coral King things, like with the big lizard thing, the big snake, the water snake thing. The panels, I gotta say, were pretty straightforward. Like, there wasn't anything crazy here. I mean, it was easy to read and the flow was fine, but like, I didn't do anything crazy with it. I'll give the panels like a 2. dialogue was good. There was a lot of talking, a lot of like ha 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 ha, like you puny humans, and like, and I did Jonah. Gotta add Jonah to the wiki because apparently, oh, there it goes. Apparently the Bible is real in Millex because Jonah was there. For the dialogue, I'll give it a 3. Like, yeah, a 3 sounds good. Like, there was a lot being said, but not a lot being explained, I guess. You know, but like, they always say like, show don't tell. But I feel like I need to tell, because you can't tell what's happening when you just look at this. Like, what is this? Hey, my eyes are up here. Thank you. Oh, I'll keep you right there. So, yeah, nostalgia. Come on, what are you staring at my gut for? Nostalgia, I really like this one. But I don't remember a lot of it, so I feel like I gotta give it like a 3 in nostalgia. Like, I don't remember anything with the Jonah or the big snake, so it really doesn't do anything for like the nostalgia factor, because I'm not like, oh my god, I remember this. Like, I did not remember writing that. It was very strange, and that just so happens to keep it in line with the last one, so this one gets 15 as well. What are the odds? I mean, it's like a 1 in 25 chance, I guess. So, cool. This was Coral King, and this was that. So we've got two down, and like 48 to go. So we got a lot to cover here. So this was fun. I like this. I like this one. A lot of people actually requested me to go over more comic books. I kind of did a poll, and a lot of people were like, go over your old comic books again. That was, you know, that was fun to see. Yeah, don't forget to, you know, oh, hey, I started a Discord for my channel, so if anybody wants to join that, you can, you know, communicate with me, get, see like behind the scenes things, talk to other people about the videos, and give me suggestions on things to cover, you know, and talk to me about whatever you want to talk about. You could even like get in on a game that maybe if I'm playing like an online game, you can get in on that. The link to that will be down in the description as well, so you can go ahead and click on that. Had a lot of fun here. Thanks, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.